Hello and welcome to a bite-sized edition of Inside Liverpool, the show dedicated to the best football club in the world, keeping you across everything. That is, of course, Liverpool Football Club on talkSPORT's YouTube channel and on your smart TVs. I'm your host, Sam Ellard. Alongside me, as always, the former Liverpool winger played in the 2007 Champions League final for Liverpool is talkSPORT presenter Jermaine Pennant. And Jermaine, since our last show, things have got a lot better for Liverpool Football Club. In the Premier League, we are unbeaten in 5. 3 wins in that time, up to 5th in the table, level on points with 4th place Chelsea. Also in that time, we've had a really good win at Inter Milan in the Champions League, just outside the top 8. So, Jermaine, finally this season, the good vibes are back on Inside Liverpool. Merry Christmas, mate.
Well, first of all, Merry Christmas to you as well.
Here we go, Jermaine. The boys are back. Come on.
Listen, look. Some of the results have been good, as in, it's the main thing is getting that 3 points and a bit of consistency and a bit of momentum. But at the same time, there's still questionable performances, especially in the last game against Spurs. I was on the edge of my seat thinking, how is this possible? They're down to, 9 men almost. So, yeah, you got to question, are we back? But the main thing at this point in time is get 3 points, climb that table, get comfortable, get confidence in, like I said, a bit of consistency and improve on that.
One thing we have seen, Jermaine, is a slight change in system. Sort of, it kind of we first saw at the Inter Milan game the kind of diamond formation where Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Jones are all playing together. And I thought something that was quite noticeable in certainly the Inter Milan game was from a defensive point of view, we looked a lot more compact, a lot more organised. It wasn't as easy for teams to play through us. What have you kind of made of some of the tactical changes that Arne Slot has implemented in the last few weeks?
Look, he's implemented where, like you said, we was very vulnerable. Teams were just breaking through us, like knife through butter. So we had to do something to shore that up and, make us a little bit more sturdy as we have been over the years. But on the flip side of that, we because we've got no Salah, we've got no Gakpo, we've got no out and out wingers anymore. The fullbacks need to push on high. Because when we've got possession, when we're attacking, it is so one-dimensional. If, we're not breaking through the middle, we're literally getting no service out wide. So if he's going to play this style, you've got to get, Bradley or Kirkes, whoever plays out there, literally occupying the role that Salah would play when we're going forward as well.
I think Frimpong being fit again could be important for that, Jermaine, down the right-hand side, because I think you're absolutely right. We need that width, and I think Frimpong will be much better at doing that role for us than Conor Bradley from an offensive point of view, certainly.
Yeah, 100%. And you saw when he came on, I know he played in a high position, but, he got the ball in the box, and that's what we need. We need to feed our strikers. It's all well playing pretty, 1 and 2 touch around the box and trying to feed stick balls through. Sometimes that may work, but you need to have a different angle in your game and get balls in from out wide. We did have 2 players, 6 foot plus, with Isak and Ekitike. I know Isak's got that terrible injury and, so bad because he looked like he's kind of quickly getting up to pace, and that goal would have done absolutely wonders for his confidence as well.
And yeah, we'll touch on that Isak injury just in a sec. But another big positive in the last few weeks has been Hugo Ekitike. He's got 5 goals in his last 3 league games. Jermaine, he's looking like a top player. He's scoring, just proper good centre forward goals, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he does. And like I said, some players come to this league and need time to adapt, but he's came straight in. Got off from pre-season, we were scoring and thinking, okay, he's kind of making a name for himself. And now we just continued that form. And he is our main number 9 at the moment. And yeah, long may that continue, him scoring goals and putting in the finishes as old school centre forwards would be doing, winning headers, scoring headers, left foot, right foot. At the moment, he's got it all. And gladly that he's fit.
Yeah, and he looks, Jermaine, as a young guy, but he looks like he's just got a bit of swagger about him, a bit of confidence. I love the way he sort of celebrated that second goal, arms crossed like that. He looks like, someone that is enjoying his football. And sure, when you're scoring goals, it helps, but I think he's got a little bit, not arrogance, but he's a confident young man. And, I like how he's going about his business.
Listen, when you're scoring every other game or every game in, 5-5, he's going to have that swag. Any player will, especially when you're playing for Liverpool, especially when you're doing it in the Premier League. If you're scoring, you're performing well, you're going to automatically have this swag about you. You're going to feel like, okay, yeah, I'm here. I'm making a name for myself and I can continue to do this. And he believes in his ability. And why not? He's a French international and he's a great player. So he's going to have that belief. He's going to have that swag. And if he continues scoring the goals, you will see more of that confidence. You'll see more of that character come out in him if he keeps on doing the job.
And Jermaine, some big injury news this week. Arne Slot expects Alexander Isak to play again this season after Liverpool striker underwent surgery on Monday. He was injured in a challenge when he scored the opening goal in Saturday's 2-1 win at Spurs. He's had an operation on an ankle problem that included a fibular fracture. Slot said he's going to be out for a few months. And, Jermaine, he got his goal and it was a lovely goal, but to then get injured in the same moment, I mean, there's never a good time to get injured, but timing is so unfortunate for him.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Like I said, you just scored a goal and you want to run off and celebrate with your teammates and your fans. To put his 1-0 up, crucial goal. And yeah, he gets injured. He's had no luck. He's had a tough pre-season, tough start to his Liverpool career. And you need first goal in the Premier League. You need that first goal sometimes to just take that weight off your shoulders. And then on the back of it to get injured like that, then the luck's definitely not on your side. But I just want to touch on the challenge from Van der Ven. I've seen Van der Ven a lot, and I think he's a great player. But if you watch his games, he does these challenges quite a lot. He comes in with absolute crazy pace, with his scissors off the ground. And I was thinking at some stage, one of the day, someone's going to really get hurt. He's going to catch someone bad. And unfortunately, it was one of our Liverpool players.
Yeah, interesting. So you almost kind of think that type of challenge is almost something that, speaking as a professional footballer yourself, shouldn't be in the game, really? Because Arne Slot kind of alluded to that, didn't he?
It should be in the game, but listen, if you're going to run in and dive for the ball, you don't run and dive and scissor the guy. If you're going to block the ball, you don't need to scissor in between the guy, in between the player. If someone's taking a shot, you block that shot, but you don't block the shot by your second trailing leg going inside it, like you're literally taking him out. It's a risk, especially when you're off the ground. You've got no control. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's what it is.
And you think for Isak as well, obviously the summer was a different one for him, and sure that was his own decision, sort of not wanting to train with Newcastle and stuff, but he comes to big money, doesn't get off to a good start, playing in a team not playing well, then gets an injury like this. You think as well mentally for him, there's a lot going on, in his mind with the price tag that he's come for that wasn't his fault. So you think it's going to be and I'm sure you've had it where you've been injured yourself, Jermaine, but, mentally also as well as physically, it's going to be a really challenging few months for him.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging in every department, physically, mentally, emotionally. He's literally now got to go back to the drawing board. He's got to start from scratch again. He's got to play catch up again. But he's going to have to do the rehab, and he'll have the best people around him for that. The best facilities, everything he needs to get back sharp, fit, as quick as possible. So he's just got to concentrate. He's here for a long time. So we're going to see more of him. So he's got to do his rehab right, get in the best shape possible for when that day he does return. But yeah, it's just so unfortunate and so sad.
And just before we move on to the Wolves game, Jermaine, I spoke about Ekitike scoring the goals, which is good, looking better defensively. But I just wanted to show some love for Curtis Jones. He reached last week 200 appearances for Liverpool. He didn't play too much football, did he, at the start of the season? I just think in the last few weeks, he's come back into the team. I think he's been absolutely outstanding. He works his socks off. He presses hard. He gives 100%, all of that. You'd expect that. But I also think he's quite an underrated player on the ball in terms of his quality. I think technically, he's really good. You know, in tight spaces, he's got really good ball control. And I just think in a time where we were struggling for results, he's come in. I think he's added a lot of energy and quality in that midfield, and I'm absolutely delighted for him. He's a scouser in the team now, the only scouser in the team now, and I just think he's someone that's been excellent, Jermaine, and deserves a lot of praise.
Yeah, he deserves his flowers. He definitely does. He's, because being a big part of the team, starting and on the bench. But now he's given that opportunity because players ain't at their top of their game. So he's came in to shore things up, and he's earned his right to be a starter now. Like you said, on the ball, he's very comfortable. He's confident. He can keep possession. There was talk of him sometimes he holds the ball too long, but he seems to kind of address that a little bit. He passed the ball a little bit earlier to continue that attack. Like I said, he brings energy. He closes plays down. He knows what it's about to play for Liverpool in the badge. And sometimes you need a little bit of grit in there, especially when our form has been as it was. So there he's came in and he's done fantastic.
Well said, Jermaine. Now, the next game for Liverpool is Saturday. It's Wolves at home. Look, we know Wolves are struggling. They're bottom without a win. But we saw with the Arsenal game a couple of weeks ago that Arsenal needed a last-minute goal to beat Wolves. So, look, it's going to be one of those on paper we should win. But this is a Wolves team that have proven that whilst they might be bottom and struggling for victories, they're still capable of making life difficult for the opposition, Jermaine. We just need an early goal, don't we? An early goal to settle things down.
Sam, you've just, listen, nail in the coffin there. We just need an early goal. That's all we need, an early goal, and it will be a lovely Christmas for everyone involved in Liverpool. If otherwise it could be a long afternoon, evening where they put the low block in, and we've seen what it's like when we play against a low block. We do find it difficult at times. But yes, on paper we should win. I think we will win. But is it going to be comfortable, or am I going to be pulling my ear out at 90 minutes?
Let's hope not.
Yeah, it's one of those at the minute. We'll have to see.
With that new fresh fade, man, you haven't got much hair to pull out, have you, at the moment?
Little strands, mate. Little strands.
The boy's got his Christmas fade locked in, ready to go. Here we go. And Jermaine, just another kind of big piece of kind of transfer news that kind of affects Liverpool is that Antoine Semenyo, according to us, David Ornstein's exclusive, his preference is to join Man City in January. Nothing formal until the market opens, but the Bournemouth attacker favours Man City. He's been linked really with pretty much every one of the kind of, top six sides in the last kind of couple of weeks and months, including Liverpool. Looks like we're not going to sign him. My two questions to you, Jermaine, are what are your thoughts on us not getting Semenyo? And with the window opening in just a couple of days' time, what do you think should be the priorities for Liverpool in January?
Well, now down to the Isak injury, I would say we can't continue the season with just one sole number 9. Because if we was getting injury to Ekitike, we would then be struggling. Especially also with Salah at AFCON. We're going to be with him for a couple of weeks. Gakpo's injured. We're running, on bare to the bare minimum at top. So I think it's a tough one because defensively as well, we need backup. So Mark Gay there, if we've got that in the bank, if we get, spare another 100 million, if we can spare another one in us, forget about the summer for now. I think striker and defender, 100%. Rumours, I don't really listen to it too much. His preferred move to Man City because I've also read that he's agreed terms with Liverpool. Personal terms have been kind of agreed, but obviously no deal has been done, obviously, until January. So Liverpool have been admirers of him, so I think it's still up for a debate. I think it's still a possibility he may come to Liverpool. I've heard him say that, his favourite place to play was Liverpool, at Liverpool, Anfield, the fans, the crowd, the atmosphere. It's one of his best experiences as a footballer, so can you read into that? So we'll see. But I think with the injury of Isak, I think we need another attacking option.
Yeah, and reading here that Liverpool are monitoring Brentford forward Igor Thiago as they look for attacking reinforcements. We have a link with Bradley Barcola at PSG and two other things to consider. I didn't know whether possibly bringing back Harvey Elliott is something that the football club should do in January, because that situation at Aston Villa is just a really strange one. He goes to Aston Villa, Emery doesn't fancy him, he's not playing, and that's no good for anybody. And Jermaine, I've got a hot take for you.
Yeah.
Are you ready for my Christmas hot take? I hope Arnie Slot isn't listening to this one. He might have to play Federico Chiesa. I know he doesn't like to. I know he wants to forget that he's even at the football club, but maybe he might have to get some minutes over the next couple of games. Jermaine, how about that for a hot take?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, mate. I think Fede has got to get a little bit of game time now. He's got to get a bit of love. Surely with Isak out, Salah not there, you know, if he doesn't, then you could. What has he done to Arnie? What has Federico done that we don't know about?
One day he's going to release a book and he's going to reveal all, Jermaine. It's honestly, but every time he comes on and plays, he makes an impact, and you see the way he celebrates goals from the bench. He's just got that passion and energy. So hey, maybe against Wolves with no Salah, with no Isak, with no Gakpo, it might have to be Ekitike and Verts and Chiesa as the front three, unless I've missed someone obvious.
No, look, that would be the most obvious choice and setup and system. But if he goes with a more defensive, the diamond, we'll have to see. But I would love to see Fede play because, like you said, when he plays, doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, he runs around, he puts a shift in, he makes some contributions. And, every time he's played, he's done something good for the team. So I think he's earned the right to at least now get a start. Bring him on half-time if you have to or something.
Come on. A Chiesa goal in front of the Kop. What a way to end things at Anfield in 2025. Jermaine, finally, I'm sure being a professional footballer was the greatest job on the planet, apart from being on Inside Liverpool with me, obviously. But it's the one good thing about not being a professional footballer now. You can just go all out on Christmas. Pep Guardiola said that if any of his players come back to training slightly overweight, they're not going to play against Man City. You would have never played, would you, on Boxing Day?
I'd have been devastated if that was my manager saying that. Because I love a Christmas Baileys. Oh, I tell you what.
Oh, just the one, yeah?
No, more than one, mate. We'll go to double figures.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I love the idea that Haaland's like half a pound overweight. He's not going to play him against Forest away. Like, that's just not true, is it? Right?
I think some players may be under that rule, but some players will get a little squeeze. Yeah.
When you have 175 goals already this season, you can play. Jermaine, top man, thank you so much as always, and have a good Christmas. And I'm sure I'll see you and speak to you soon.
You too, mate. Merry Christmas.
Thank you all for watching Inside Liverpool, the final one of 2025. But whisper it quietly, I believe that we should be around a lot more often and a lot more frequently in the year of 2026. Thank you for watching Inside Liverpool. Let's hope Liverpool can finish off the year with 3 points against Wolves. And we will definitely see you very soon in 2026.